your tax on the bottom line is lesser than that, then all you can do and all you are entitled to do is carry it forward for 5 years, but be merry with that. Don't grudge if you have got to pay this minimum tax. On this 153, there are a few other proposed amendments I don't think time would permit me to say, but non-residents having PC. We said right now non-residents were not subjected to this kind of minimum thing, others were. The corporates are not, and non-residents are not. Now non-residents having PE, rendering service, they will be now treated as having paid minimum tax. The other day I got a phone call from one of the branches of a multinational, because it directly affects the branches of the multinationals. So I got a phone call from them, कि सिद्धार्थ साहब अब क्या होगा? मैं कहा फातिहा पढ़ें और क्या होगा? So this is the provision. Well, there are certain, as you know, for years, and from this forum and from this rostrum, at least I can say, having said so many times, that we were clamoring for a provision for advance ruling that the FBR should give, so that a prospective investor knows what is going to be tax liability or tax position. Fortunately, this provision came in 2003, and we now only find that, and at that time it was restricted to non-residents only. Residents are second-class citizens. They were not entitled to this. But to top it all now, non-residents having P in Pakistan are at par with residents. So non-resident having PE is also not entitled to any advance ruling. Take it or leave it. This is a proposal. Now I don't know what were the compelling reasons for doing this. There might have been some case here and there, but you can't formulate a law based on even if somebody has abused certain things. I have been always advocating in the corridors of power, wherever I got the opportunity to do, that don't make a law based on exceptions. No matter how tight your law is, how well conceived your law is, there would always be some people who would find a way around that and they will defeat that. So in order to plug that, makhi ko aap top se nahi mare. But in our lawmaking, we couch it in the widest possible expression and thereby affect those also who ought not to be affected. So I don't understand why it is like that. Regarding provisional assessment, since it becomes final after the expiry of 60 days, there is no right of appeal explicitly now proposed to be provided, although I think it was understood even before. With regard to the banking industry, the good thing that has happened is that this carryover for future years that has been now provided for, which was missing in the 7th schedule. So if your provision is in excess of the percentage at which it is capped, and it continues to be capped at 1% of the total advances when it comes to general advances, and 5% of consumer finance and SMEs. The banking industry, as far as we know, and in our dealings with our clients, we know that there has been a demand that this 1% cap is not quite sufficient. It ought to be raised to at least 2%. But this demand remains unfulfilled. My only hope is, I'm hoping not against hope, that last year also there were a few things which people like us had pointed out in the 7th schedule. Some of them have been addressed. We are hopeful, we are optimistic, we are not negative, we are not pessimist people. We hope that whatever remains to be done in terms of the 7th schedule, that will inshallah be done in the times to come. With regard to the 7th schedule, I don't think there is anything. With regard to 7th schedule, I don't think there is further, but there are other numerous small scattered provisions here and there. Some of the withholding taxes have become now final as opposed to they being advanced tax before, and so on and so forth. Those are matters of detail. Nothing very conceptual about it, so time does not permit me to go into that. But all in all, I must say that at least we in the profession had anticipated and expected the finance minister, whom to some extent I personally know, is a man with a brain on his shoulders. To what extent he has been allowed to operate, to what extent his views has been considered seriously by his colleagues in the August Assembly, I can't say. But the budget document as a whole does not carry anything which in the times immemorial one would say, okay, this is a new conceptual thing, a good innovation, a good fiscal engineering that has been done, which will augur well for industry and commerce and business and economy as a whole. I am afraid to say I cannot identify, I cannot cull out a single provision whereby I can say this particular provision fits that criteria. Why it is so? Has it been done in rush? Has it been done under pressure of a variety of kinds? Yes, we are a country which works under different pressures, legitimate and illegitimate both. And maybe this has been conceived in that particular kind of environment. I only hope and pray, as I said this morning, this is our country. Taxes are collected for our people. People sometimes are reluctant to pay taxes because not all of them who ought to pay must be paying. So if you find as you pay and your neighbor with 5 Pajeros standing outside or in the garage, he is not a taxpayer, then human tendency is that you feel aggrieved about it. We need to bring harmony in this whole thing. We need to provide a level playing thing. We need to deal everyone, every citizen of the state with equity and equality. Wealth is not something which needs to be equalized, but wealth is something which needs to be dealt with proper propriety and equity. Unfortunately, in our fiscal formulations, this equity and propriety are quite often missing, and that is the source of concern. But anyway, we are not hopeless, we are hopeful, despite the fact that we are all sort of perspiring. And with this budget, I don't know whether you are perspiring more or less, but thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you, Ibrahim Saab, for a detailed discussion on budget provisions related to direct taxes. In his initial remarks, Ibrahim Saab openly shared his frustration about the indifferent attitude of the policy makers and about the overall environment. اور کیوں نہ ہو، کیوں گردش مدام سے گھبرا نہ جائے دل، انسان ہوں پیالہ و ساغر نہیں ہوں میں. With this, I am now pleased to introduce our third guest speaker of the session, Mr. Shabbar Zaidi, who needs no introduction in the accounting and tax community of Pakistan, who is also frequently seen now on different TV channels. He is also a frequent guest speaker at pre and post budget sessions. Shabbar Saab has served as president of the institute and SAFA as well. He is member Revenue Advisory Council of FBR. He has served on various government committees related to taxation and revenue reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Shabbar Zaidi Saab.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Ibrahim Sidat, Saqib Masood Saab, Masood Naqvi Saab, Khalil Saab, Saad Kalia Saab. جب دو الفاظ ابراہیم صاحب کہتے ہیں تو مجھے یاد آتا ہے کہ تھوڑا تھوڑا اس میں ہمارا رول بھی اب ہو گیا ہے، ایک کوریڈور آف پاور اور ایک پالیسی میکرز. تو انفارچونیٹلی ثاقب اور میں ریونیو ایڈوائزری کونسل کے ممبر ہیں، اور میں انفارچونیٹلی اور فارچونیٹلی اکنامک ایڈوائزری کونسل کا ممبر بھی ہوں. تو یہ جو کچھ غلطی یا جو کچھ آپ کے سامنے ہے، تھوڑا بہت حصہ اس میں ہمارا بھی ہے. تو یہ میں آج جو پریزنٹیشن آپ کے سامنے کرنے لگا ہوں، اس میں دو تین اسپیکٹس ہیں. آئی ول فرسٹلی ڈیل ویری بریفلی تھرو دی اسٹیٹ آف دا پاکستان اکنامی اینڈ دین آئی ول گو ڈائریکٹلی ٹو دی indirect taxes. But before I go to the indirect taxes, I will just give, like all of you people, in my view, who are very relevant people in the society, to go through one of the very interesting remark which one of the recent books by a King's College professor Lionel Anatole Levin has said about Pakistan. And he says, Pakistan is a divided, disorganized, economically backward, corrupt, violent, unjust, often savagely oppressive towards poor and women, and home to extremely dangerous form of extremism and terrorism. یہ اس نے پاکستان کے بارے میں کہا ہے. And he says it is easy to conclude as many have from the roll call